Episode 10. And in true 40-year-old Degen style, we have nothing prepared. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We're just going to fumble through this as per usual. But I love. Oh, hang on. I'm wearing the wrong hat. There we go.
Much. It's our special 10 episode celebration.
I know. I always wear the same hat. You tend to mix them up a bit. I like that.
I mix it up a
Um,
bit. Speaking of what we're wearing, I so it's springtime now,
right.
and so my normal uniform of wearing hoodies every day, I've transitioned into wearing t-shirts. This
Yeah.
somehow feels a lot more casual. I'm
Mm.
realizing as I'm sitting here, not that we only ever wear hoodies, which isn't dressy, but this feels even like a step down from that.
I mean, it depends on what you're wearing on the bottom as well. Because if you're wearing cargo shorts and you're wearing Birkenstocks, which is what I'm picturing, then that is even more dressy, even less dressy.
Yeah, you were really close. It's cargo shorts and cowboy boots. They're custom. They're nice.
Well, I mean, I wasn't expecting cowboy boots. I'm glad you're wearing the cargo shorts because if you were just wearing the cowboy boots below the camera screen, I would be very perturbed by all of this.
I
But
know that cargo shorts come in and out of fashion regularly. I think they're back in right now.
mm,
I carry a lot of stuff when I'm out and about, and so
mm.
I just need the storage. I don't care how I look.
What do you carry? Because I have a little stash of things that I carry. I wonder if they're the same.
Maybe. Well, I always have my iPods if I'm gonna listen to stuff. You always have to have a snack with you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Compass, so you don't
Mm-hmm.
get lost. Are
Mm-hmm.
for me are the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Some tape.
Okay. Completely different direction than I thought we were going to go. So you're like very much like, I might be lost in the wilderness. I mean, I guess that is it is a bigger concern in the States, right? The States is just much bigger. So you might wander into the wilderness and get lost for a bit.
You
Whereas
don't know what's gonna happen.
in the UK, like I think the furthest that you can walk without bumping into a town is like an hour. Like if you just
Yeah.
keep walking in one direction for an hour, you will find something because it's much smaller.
You,
My
you
go-to,
spend you spend your whole life never worried about getting lost.
no. And here's another thing that this is something when you go to the States you have to really consider. I also never spend any of my life worrying that I might get shot for trespassing because there is a thing that protects people from wandering over people's land. And also we just don't really have guns. I mean, we have guns, right? There are people that have shotguns, I'm sure, but like it's not a thing. And I also don't worry about being attacked by any creature that is bigger than me, right? The
Mm.
worst thing that you're going to wander into in the UK wilderness is some kind of angry badger. But you've got a good chance against that. But I went to a friend's house in California. They live in the mountains around outside San Francisco, and I just left the door of the. I was in this little outhouse. I just left the door open, and I woke up the next morning and I was like, "Oh, it was so hot," but I left that door open, and they were like, "What? You left the door open?" And I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Mountain cats like wander around up here," and I was like, "Do you think you should have warned me? Like, there aren't mountain cats in the UK, right? That's not you might walk into somebody's tabby, like you might find a domestic cat that has gone without a
Hmm.
meal for a little while, but that's the worst. Not a mountain cat.
Yeah. Yeah. We regularly have stories of, well, it's one of two stories. It's either someone is mauled to death by one of the mountain cats or heroically fends off a mountain cat, which you hope would be your story.
Mm. And presumably, after our conversation last week, you believe that's your story as well. Like you'd you'd set a mountain cat on his way.
If there were me plus 19 others, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, fair, fair.
Not me alone, Hutch.
Oh no, I love the confidence in that setup. I think that maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Maybe that's where I'm approaching life differently. I could learn a thing or two. Why do you have like perennial? That isn't the bit of the anatomy between the bumhole and the ball bag, but that is what it's making me think of. What is the shirt about? Tell me more because now all I can see is perineum.
It's it's not that, but if that were the name of a really good band, I'd also wear that shirt. Perennial's a band. It's a local band to me, a DIY band, sort of a punk-ish, punk rock type um, threesome, which is really great.
Love it. Love it a
Yeah,
lot.
shout out Perennial. I've seen them live tons of times. They're really great people and great musicians.
Taco, what Web3 shenanigans have you been up to this week?
So I've I've had a busy week, which we can get into. So I haven't been buying into a lot of stuff, which apologies to RNG Crypto who keeps sending me links to do things to go buy, but I just don't. I haven't had the time yet. But I can see from my other computer screen that Good Vibes Club, the floor is at 0.737 right now, which is pretty tremendous. It got up close to zero point 0.8 and then dropped a little bit, but it's been holding there. So, wow.
Love them. Love that for you.
Yeah.
And you're loaded up as well. Like this might be your $60 million bag.
I've got some for sure, but there are people in the community who are like big holders who have like 100 plus. There's someone with like 180 of them, which feels like that's too many,
Damn.
right?
I
Even
mean,
if you love it and you have the money, it's like that. Wow, that's a lot.
yeah, 180. I mean, it's almost selfish.
Hmm.
Do they know who they
Yeah.
are? Are
Hey,
we going
hey,
to
you
call them
guys
out?
are selfish.
Yeah, how dare you?
No, I guess it's good because they've swept the floor a couple of times and they keep the price stable and rising, and so I can't be mad. I guess I could just be mad if they decided to just buy them all. I don't think your project does well if one person has like 80%
No.
of the pieces.
No, you need to get to that stage where everybody has one and they're stable because nobody wants to give that up. That's the more
Right.
stable sense. Well, I'm
Yeah.
excited for you. I'm glad that I really have not been. I mean, I have some bags, right? But I'm just until Bitcoin is in the 300K zone. I'm not really thinking about what to do there. I'm just leaving it alone.
Bitcoin's pushing 100 again.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that it's not exciting anymore, right? It's already been to 100. So when it's
Well,
150, then I'm excited again.
sure, but it was dropping pretty rapidly, so it could have gone the other direction. And so good that it's back at 100, I think, right?
Although I do get alerts on my I don't know why I haven't switched these off, but I do get my Twitter alerts that occasionally go, "Oh, there's a whale that shorted like $40 million worth of Bitcoin," and I'm like, "Oh, that doesn't feel good."
Uh-oh. I
Uh-oh.
The only alert I get on my phone related to crypto is I have an app on there that I don't even use. I think it's called Rally.
Hmm.
Um, and when I signed up, I had inputted one token that I had, which is the poop token. And so I will get every couple of days a notification from them on my phone that says, hey, poop is up 25% or down 25%. It's poop is super volatile. Um, and I just get that. And I don't even own it anymore. I got out of the poop game, but I still get that alert. Like, hey, I hope you're paying attention to poop. And that makes me feel pretty degen. Like I had a bag of poop at one point and I got out of the game because it was too volatile, even for me.
Also, Taco is out of the poop game. There's our podcast title.
We did it.
Oh, that is funny. Yeah, so you're out. You're not meme coining anymore. Did you exit that to get into good vibes? Is that where that energy is gone?
I I did get out of a few of my coins to put
This
that
is unlike you,
into.
Taco. I think early in the series, never selling
Yeah.
anything was the ethos. So that has changed, it seems.
I don't know that it feels like to me if you're selling a bag to buy a different bag, I'm still not taking profit,
Gotcha.
right? Which I also discussed with RNG Crypto this week because, like, I right now I could sell a couple of my good vibes and I would have made profit on them, but I can't do it. And we agreed that taking profit is for quitters. But I think selling a bag to buy a different bag, that's we're neutral, right?
I can see that logic. Yeah, I get that. I get that.
And if it makes you feel any better, the tokens I'm selling are I'm down.
It doesn't. I want you to be up, Taco. I want you to be. I want you to
Oh,
be
yeah,
rolling,
no,
rolling wins and get your.
no. So the options were I have a token that's down and I can wait for it to go back up or transition that into vibes, which right now I'm feeling like was probably a good move.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah, vibes
definitely.
are up and most of my tokens have been down.
Vibes are up. Tell us about what you're doing this week then. I got a little. I got a little. Not. I didn't get any information before the podcast, but I was just told that some exciting thing is going on, and that my
Yeah,
reaction.
we joke about every week how ill prepared we are for this, and I feel like this is our 10th episode, and this is the least prepared that
Mm.
we've been, which is I think is a thing to be celebrated. The tens of people who are watching this, I don't do they but I wish can you guys respond in the comments or write into the home office? Do you enjoy that we're not prepared, or would you prefer we have an actual agenda and talk about legitimate real things?
Would you like to see Taco in a tux interviewing me? That's the that's the question. We can go that prepared, or we can just we can phone it in like we normally do.
Yeah, it works. I'm good either way. This is obviously a little preferable on account of I don't have to do any work, right? So as you know, I'm still fun employed, uh, and so I had some time on my hands. Today we're recording. It's 8 a.m. for me, which is a little bit early for our recording schedule, which
Mhm.
isn't even a schedule. It's just whenever you say, "Hey, do you want to record now?" But it's usually a little bit later in the day. It's early because I'm going into day 3 of a 3-day intensive how to be a life coach workshop. Because
Okay.
on a whim, I thought, hey, what even is life coaching? Is that something that would be fun? I've got plenty of time on my hands. I'm going to sign up for this course and become a certified life coach. And today I will have completed my third full day. They're pretty intensive days. They're like 10-hour days of learning and workshop stuff.
Okay. I I see why you withheld this because this is amazing and good for you for self-improvement. I think that's we should say that up front. Tell me what a life coach is in the guise of this training that you're having because I'm getting I'm getting memory takes of all sorts of like American mid-level marketing schemes coming into my mind. But I assume that you've done a bit more research than that, and this is something that's a bit more legit. But I'm excited. Tell me all about it.
I did do more research, but you are also absolutely right. And the thing that I think fascinated me about life coaching is that A, it's not there isn't a governing body, which means congratulations, Hutch, you're a life coach. You can work as a life coach. You
Wow.
can tell people that you can earn money coaching people without any sort of oversight whatsoever,
Mm,
which makes the whole thing feel hmm, a little sketchy, right?
okay.
There are certifying bodies. So obviously I'm going to come out of my intensive 3-day course with a certification. I'll be a certified life coach through the ICF, obviously. Was that the international certified coaching? What are they? There's something. It's the ICF,
Yeah. I mean, the acronym
International
makes it
Coaching
sound
Federation.
the the
The
the
International Coaching
acronym
Federation.
the acronym definitely makes it sound more legit. I like
Oh
that.
yeah,
The
yeah,
idea.
yeah. Yeah, and they do a whole bunch of credentialing, which have so many little acronyms where you achieve certain amounts of things, and then you're a CCE and a PPE and all these different crazy things, which is like, but no one knows what any of it means because who would know any of that stuff? So there is the legitimate side of it, which I think is the road I'm going. It feels legitimate right now. And then obviously there's that other part of it, the mid-level marketing. Since I signed up for the thing I'm doing, my feeds are flooded with, hey, take this course, you'll be a certified life coach for $27. All that stuff that feels like that, but that can't be real. Like you can't be a professional anything for $27.
Mm.
Yeah. And so to answer your initial question, and I didn't really understand the difference between like a life coach and some other stuff. I was um in my head I thought it was more like consulting than coaching. So coaches are more there to hold space and to help you figure out your own goals um and achieve those goals and not so much advising you on how to do it. And so you have a thing
Mm.
that you're working on, you would come to me as your life coach, obviously, because I'm me, and I would help you get to a place where you're like, you figure out the thing that you need to do to achieve, versus me saying, listen, idiot, you do, go do this, and go do this.
Okay.
Versus a consultant, which will tell you these are the things. Like you consult me on how to exist as a human. You tell me what to do for me to exist. You're my consultant. You're not my coach.
I love this. And I presume that the impetus to do something like this was to help people in some way. Is that how you feel, or what was it that brought you to life coaching? Was there a really good advert that you saw that converted you, or is this something that you've, I know that you like people, right? I know that you're very good at identifying
Mm.
those
Yeah.
qualities, and you're very good with people. So was it an extension of that?
Uh, no, no, I don't think so. Um, it was more, I thought it would be fun to take a course on a thing I didn't know stuff about. I have been a consultant. I've definitely been a mentor. And so I've done things similar to this and I enjoy that. And so I just wanted to learn about what is it? What is the process? How does the whole thing work? And so I did. I don't know that I'll go on to actually do any coaching. I think it's good just to maybe have this information in my back pocket. Well, I'll call it a skill set.
I I can say now that if you don't go on to coach anybody in their life, that will be a travesty. I I cannot and I mean this genuinely, right? This might sound like I'm making a joke, but I cannot think of anybody that I know who is better suited to be a supportive influence in somebody's life. Life coach still throws me off, right? It still feels a bit crystal woo woo and mid level
Sure.
marketing combined.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think about just being somebody who is in a job, I think that all of the qualities that you're talking about, all of that kind of stuff is really important for those things. So, I can see, I while the terminology is kind of putting me off, I do see value in all of those things, right? Being supportive, making sure that people
Yeah.
are achieving what they want, but they're setting their own goals. I love all of this.
Yeah.
It would be a travesty if you never do this. And actually, I think what we need to understand is by the time this comes out, you will be a qualified life coach, right?
Yeah. I'll be fully certified.
Okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to sign up a Gmail account right now, and we're going to put that Gmail account in the show notes, and we're going to get you your first client.
I,
That's going to happen.
I love it. Why not? I was also, I mean, we're similar in that. I was a little dismissive of it. Like you hear of people who have life coaches, and it's like that. Don't you have use that money to buy coffee? right? Like that doesn't feel right. But now having gone through the first 2 days, it's like, oh, this actually, if they're doing it the way they should be or could be doing it, I could see how this could be really beneficial for people. And it makes a lot more sense. But it's hard because there is that stigma, right? Like, should I be putting certified life coach on my LinkedIn? Is that something that people go, oh, look at he has certification, or will they be like, oh, geez, like he's crazy? It's hard. The whole and that was sort of addressed a bit by the facilitator was you don't have to have a certification; anybody can do it. So what we are trying to make this as legitimate as possible.
I like it. I like it. We
Yeah.
have a registered email now. It it is so if you are looking for a solution to your life coach needs,
Mm-hmm.
um, then in the show notes you will find this email, but we're going to read it out here: lifebytaco@gmail.com. We're starting a personal brand. This is how we're doing it. We're going to get you a website stood up. We're gonna we if
I love that we're we're moving my Web3 persona of Taco into my new life coaching universe. And so I'm anybody who thinks in their heart they should hire someone named Taco to be their life coach. I mean, really, that's my target market. That's who I want,
yeah.
right?
I
Yeah.
mean, what you want is for somebody who is your client to
Mm-hmm.
say to one of their friends, "Oh, my life coach Taco told me this," and you want that reaction of that person is to say, "Oh, of course you have a life coach called Taco. Like, of course that
Yeah.
is a thing. Of course that happens." So the address is open. I
Mm-hmm.
am now Taco's agent, I guess, because I own the
Yeah.
email address. But yeah, I
Right.
I think I think this is a thing that can happen, right? I think we can build with the people who are in this community.
Yeah.
I think we can get you your first client. I
Yep.
think we could make this a thing, right? I think that a life coach podcast as part of the 40-year-old Degens to give those people a sense of direction, give Degens,
Mm-hmm.
like, let's rehabilitate Degens. Let's give them life
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah,
I
and you know what?
love this.
I think you're right about continuing to be Taco because even through all the degenning in Web3 is a really unique mix of legitimate and also very make believe,
Hmm.
and that is kind of my comfort zone. And so I like the idea of I can be a very legitimate, actual, real. I'm trying life coach, and I could help people but I also kind of like their friends' reactions of, yeah, your life coach named Taco. That's great. You're throwing your life away. You joined a cult. I like, but it's not a cult. He's really helping me. Sure, sure he is.
Oh, Life by Taco. Thank God Scientology didn't find you first.
Is this the road to my cult? I shouldn't ask that here because I don't want people to think they're joining a cult. But having a
It,
cult, that's the dream,
this
right?
this is definitely feeling cult like. Um, yeah, I can see a really heavily 80s inspired look for all of your Life by Taco memorabilia and merch, and this could be a personal brand for the ages in a sort of not knowing exactly where the joke ends and seriousness begins, right? This is some blend of seriousness and silliness that I think could be an internet sensation.
Yeah, yep. I like that. I think you're right. So yeah, we're doing it now. I thought maybe I was just doing the coursework for fun, just to see how like what is this thing. But you're right, there's no once I'm certified there's no reason why I shouldn't be out there helping to save the world.
Mm. Can we begin like a session now? Can you just give me a sort of behind the scenes look of like what like how potentially you would approach me as a client?
Sure. So we'd probably meet at some point,
Mm,
just to chat a bit about, is this a good fit? What are the things you're working on or would
mm,
like to work on? So a bit of a consultation first to decide, does this make sense? Because I think, like all things, you need to find the right fit for you, right? That's especially true in therapy. I
yeah.
think it's true in doctors. If you are going to see a doctor and you don't like them, go find a new doctor, find a different therapist, find a different hairdresser. They're fine. I just don't really connect with them. You should be connecting with everybody in your life or find an alternative. So I think it's important, especially with someone like a life coach who you're letting into your life, you need that connection. So we'd have a consultation, talk about it. If we decide this is a good fit, there's probably I'd make you sign some kind of a contract.
Well, I
We're
mean,
learning
and
about the contracts today. Today we're going over contracts
well,
where,
and to
and
be
they
fair,
say
I couldn't think
most
of anybody better to be my life coach. So we're already
right,
at that stage. I think I'm ready to sign.
they do they do say maybe you shouldn't be coaching people who you're very close with. um
Right. Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know
we've never
why.
met in person, so I think we I qualify.
No, you're absolutely right, you're right. And so in a session, and I'm obviously already super qualified to be discussing this, you know what's the thing we want to work on today? And there's actually a lot of little sub categories. Like there's
Mm,
obviously corporate coaches is one that people are most familiar with, but
mm,
health and wellness, spiritual coaches,
mm,
um, couples slash relationship coaches,
mm,
singles and couples, people dealing with different things. Trauma
mm.
coach, not really trauma coaches. That's more therapy. Don't do that. That's a big one. Coaches aren't therapists.
Right.
They're
They're
not
quite
doctors. And
they're quite
so,
keen on making that distinction. That's good.
oh, super, super keen. We spend a lot of time on if things come up that you're not qualified to talk about, steer them toward someone who's qualified. So don't go to a life coach if you're dealing with your childhood trauma or
Mm,
that kind of stuff. So not trauma, but different, whatever, life transition stuff, career coaches, things like that. So you might be, hey, I'm trying to get more healthy and I'm stuck. And so we'd start that conversation. Great. What do you define as healthy? It's a lot of open-ended, letting people find their own things. Oh, well, here's blah
mm,
blah blah. Oh, what does that look like to you?
mm.
What are the things that you feel like have stopped you from this in the past? That kind of, and you get to a point where you put together, the framework for the session, and then you put together an action plan for, okay, here are some things I can do to start working toward that.
Love that. And what
Yeah,
what's
it's like
your
that.
so obviously you mentioned a couple of like different routes there. What do you think
hmm
your niche is? I can't see you being corporate necessarily, but I could see you being like a creative life coach, definitely.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I chatted about this with Mrs. Taco, who still has not watched the podcast, um,
Nor
which
is
is
Mrs.
fine. She might, if she watches this one, she'll know. I did a practice session with her. Um, she thought I would go into more of the corporate business career stuff because that's my degree. And before I was a Degen, I was a manager of companies and people. And so
Right.
that felt like it made sense, right? Um, I don't know. Different people either focus on certain things or they keep it broad. I like the broadness of just the general life
Mm,
of life
mm,
of life. I also really like the couples slash relationship slash that thing is appealing to me.
mm. So
Yeah.
so I mean how do I get Mrs. Hutch to watch the podcast? That's the question that I have then. That's my goal.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Why is it important to you that she does that?
Because we don't have that many viewers, and so each additional viewer is actually a big win. It's a big win.
And why is it important for you that Mrs. Hutch specifically cares about you?
Um, well, I think she sees all the other things that I'm doing, right? She sees a lot of the other stuff that I'm doing, and I think this is the thing that she doesn't take seriously. This is and of all the things, this is the thing that I feel the most seriously about. So I think that
Yes.
the seriousness that I wish her um, to see in this is is basically the hurdle, right?
Yeah, so this is when I recognize your marriage has real issues and you should probably go to an actual couples therapist. This is beyond my scope.
Oh, I mean, I've long suspected it, but it's tough to find out this way. But thank you. I feel
Yeah.
coached in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
love
the
it.
thing I'm most struggling with. This is the content that people wanted today for sure, is that there's steps to take and there are people who are master coach certified, which is they've had X amount of hours of education and they've done X number of hours of coaching to get to a credentialed level on the legitimate side of life coaching.
Mm,
But between where I am, where I'll just be base certified, and that, there are all these things that could happen in sessions with people that, until you do it, I guess it's like anything, right? It's like photography. You have to shoot 100 weddings before you're really great at weddings because you don't know what's going to happen. Same thing
mm.
here. Someone could go to the Life by Taco Gmail. We have a session and something like that comes up where it's like, whoa, actually, this is real trauma that you shouldn't be talking to a guy named Taco about. But that's the fun of it, right?
So do you want to use the Life by Taco email to invite serious conversation, or would you like it to be more of an agony aunt? Like, we'll do it anonymously, send a question to that life coach session, and we'll have a specific section in the podcast where we address concerns. I think the Degen mailbag, people use that. They really enjoyed it. It
Yeah.
became another channel. Whereas this becomes like a separate thing. It's not public. It will be completely anonymous. And do we then bring these topics up and talk about them in a section? Or is
Well,
that
it's
airing on the silly side of the serious silly divide?
not that it's too silly. I think it's that because coaching isn't advice driven, I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know if it's a segment you could do because it's not. Although
yes,
I'd be
you're quite
thrilled
right.
to do an advice segment for people. This is more. It would, and I think it would be if people want to write in. I think it could be either people who are not 100% serious or people who legitimately could use a life coach because I need to be doing practice sessions with
Right,
people because that's the
right.
only way to level up is to do practice sessions.
Okay. Well, in that case,
Mm-hmm.
liveby taco@gmail.com. If you are
Yeah.
willing to be a guinea pig of sorts
Mm-hmm.
for taco, then
Yeah.
we'll obviously charge for these sessions. I hope that's part of the plan. You're not going to do free sessions, are you?
Initial round of practice sessions, charging
Yeah.
the maximum.
You're a capitalist at heart. I respect that. All right. Well, if you wanna get, I mean, to be honest, I can see this being one of the greatest personal brands on the internet. So, if you are interested in that, then email that email, and yeah, we'll have fun with that. I love this. I love this for you. Actually, I think to be honest, I've sort of had my life coached by you over the last 10 weeks, and I've loved every minute of it. So I couldn't recommend it more. We do a little
Wow.
session like before and after the actual recording. There's a little thing of us just talking, and yeah, you're often holding space. You're often allowing me to get to the answer, and I feel supported by you doing that. So there's
I'm
your
gonna
first
take
5-star review.
yeah, I'm gonna take that clip and put it on the website that you're gonna build for me as my first endorsement. A lot of life coaches, and this is part of the other thing, the other part of it, a lot of life coaches have podcasts where they talk about
Mm,
a lot of different stuff, which
mm.
is I haven't listened to any. I don't know what they're talking about.
I mean,
But
that's
yeah,
good.
they turned. Sure. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, have we ever any other business to attend to? Otherwise, we've neatly wrapped there. So
Yeah. No, that was. I wasn't expecting to spend so much time on my new life coaching journey, so that's great. Let's wrap it up. I've got
love
class
it.
in an hour. I'm going to learn about contracts and how to get what to be charging whoever. Geez, if you're writing in, you obviously
Don't care about the
are
price,
someone
right?
who's you don't care about the price. You already know the value of spending some time with me being life coached. You get it. And so, yeah.
I love it. I love you. This was a lovely 10th episode. We're clearly not going
And
away, so everybody might as well just get on board with this now.
next week I will be in Toronto for Consensus, the blockchain conference, and so maybe a live episode, not a live episode, but I could be recording from Consensus.
It depends if they're going to pay us to plug them. If not, it's just going
Hmm.
to be a live episode from Toronto.
From my Airbnb in Toronto, which is it's
Yeah,
better. That's what we want.
yeah,
How do we know
exactly.
he's even in Toronto?
I love it. He's just turned his camera around. All right, I love you. I love. Thank you for everybody who's watching this. We appreciate you, and don't forget to like and subscribe and all the other those things that you're supposed to do. Auf Wiedersehen.